Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today we are in Glasgow, Scotland.
Even though Glasgow is not the capital of Scotland, it is the largest city in Scotland, and it is also the third largest city population-wise in the UK. There are around 600-something thousand people living in the city area and then over 1 million people in the urban area. I actually used to live in Edinburgh. Edinburgh, I think, is a lot more touristy, and I used to come here for concerts and events and things like that, but I never really got to explore the city much. I only really saw the concert venues, so I'm excited to see what the city has to offer. I know there's always been a rivalry between Glasgow and Edinburgh, so let's see which city is better. So we're going to start off our day at the Barras Market. It's basically this weekend market that has been around for over 100 years. It's kind of like a flea market where they sell all these like weird old antique things. And I think there's like really creepy things too. I don't know, I just want to see what it's like. It's basically an institution in Glasgow, I think. So let's check it out.
When coming here to Glasgow, we were trying to find something that was peculiar and something that was very interesting to eat here in this city. Maybe something they don't eat everywhere in Scotland. And one thing that kept coming up was this, and this is just a pie and a roll. Now, apparently they do eat this in other parts of Scotland. I saw on Reddit, some people were saying they live in Fife and they eat this, but I've never seen anybody eat this before in Edinburgh or anywhere else that we've been. So it seemed quite unique. It seems like such a UK thing to eat carbs within carbs. I think that we got a steak pie inside of this. I think many people would get a Scotch pie inside. I think some people even get a macaroni pie inside, but I think steak and gravy is gonna go well. Let's see. It tastes exactly like you'd think it would taste. It tastes like a pie in a bun. The bun is nice and soft and pillowy. The pie is crispy and crunchy. The gravy in the beef is also really good. You can really taste it. I do like the addition of the ketchup because it makes it a little bit sweet as well. I saw somebody refer to this on Reddit as a Glasgow oyster, which I'm sure they just made that up. I don't think other people call it that. Let us know in the comments, but yeah, this is good. This feels like such a Scottish thing to have.
That's actually quite good. I wish this pie had a little bit more filling. I think most people go for brown sauce. I think overall brown sauce is probably maybe more popular in general. I don't like brown sauce that much, that's why I got the ketchup. I can totally see why this would be good with a Scotch pie, because the Scotch pie is kind of like a hamburger patty. Therefore, it would just kind of be like a burger with some crust. And this crust is really good.
I think this would be especially good though if the pie was like super filled with gravy and really liquidy, because then you'd have all that gravy all over the bun.
The pie is not really filled as much, but I'm sure if you get it in other places, it's different, but still yummy. I think this would actually be really good with butter on it. I don't know if people usually put butter on it. Maybe we should have asked for it. Or maybe that's weird, I don't know.
No,
but
I agree.
That would be good. And I read a lot of people actually like the mac and cheese pie, which is crazy because then you really have carbs, carbs, carbs.
I love carbs, so I think that would be delicious.
They even have a little arcade here, and I guess there's also some machines where you can gamble, so I guess you can gamble, win some money, and then buy all of this weird stuff they sell here.
We lost. Don't gamble, kids.
Brandon found a new girlfriend.
Looks like Anya, which is mad at me.
It does kind of look like me.
Brandon.
I don't know what this is, but it's creepy and it has a broken arm. Where are we?
In the weirdest market I've ever been in my life, and I absolutely love it.
In the weirdest room I've ever been with all these creepy dolls. I heard there was creepy stuff, but I think we found it.
When we read online that this place was kitschy and weird, at first we were walking around, I was like, it seems pretty normal to me, but we have definitely found the kitschy, weird section. This is the best market I've ever been
Or
to.
like the horror section, the doll section.
This whole building is the horror section.
All these like weird dolls remind me of like Toy Story, like that Kid Sid room and Beetlejuice.
There's actually a shrunken head doll over there. Did you see it?
So it's a little bit chilly and we walked past the stand called Rock Dog. I guess they sell burgers and things like that. And I also saw that they sell Bovril. And I thought Bovril was just kind of like Marmite, the spread that you put on bread. And I think it's made out of beef, but they make drinks out of this. And I guess this is a thing. I don't know. The people around it said, yeah, people drink Bovril all the time. I don't know if it's just a Glaswegian thing or a Scottish thing, but I had to have it, couldn't say no. Let's try this. I saw that he basically just put like hot water and, I don't know, mixed it together or something. There's a guy outside of the stand and he told me to put salt and pepper.
Yeah, the locals are super friendly in Glasgow. Like, we've already been approached 3 or 4 times. We've only been here like an hour.
It's so hot. It just tastes like a soup, like a beef soup. Yeah, it's delicious. I've never had Bovril as a spread before. I do love Marmite. This doesn't really taste bitter or anything. It's too hot though. It's yummy though, but basically it just tastes like really concentrated like beef stock, which is really good because it's kind of shitty outside.
To me, this smells like an instant noodle beef packet mixed with hot water. That's what it smells like. It smells really good. Like, it's making me salivate. It definitely has this really savory, beefy smell. So I'm excited to try it. Let's try not to burn my tongue off though. That's exactly what it tastes like. I feel like it's missing noodles. I feel like there needs to be noodles in here because it tastes like ramen noodle broth. That is so good. And as you said, it is really chilly today, super windy. So I don't know, it just warms the soul. I can totally see why people drink this. Although that Bovril was delicious and super retro, the man next to us told us that they used to drink in the 70s. We decided to go for something a little bit more modern this time because they also have a lot of modern food stands. We went to a place called the Brownie Bar for, obviously, a brownie. And they held all sorts of different selections. They had a salted caramel flavor, they had a vegan one, they had all sorts. But we went with the Biscoff flavor. And this looks really delicious. It has like ground up Biscoff cookies on top. And it looks super thick. Brownies are probably one of my favorite desserts, although I do prefer when they have ice cream with them. But this looks perfect. Oh my god, so soft.
Is it even baked?
Barely. So fudgy. It's like pudding in my mouth almost. If you're one of those people who likes to eat like cookie dough and batter, then you will love this because it's very soft. It has a little bit of a bite to it as well. But this is delicious. I hate it when brownies are too dry, and this is definitely not too dry. It is super soft, very, very sweet, but it's just perfect. Perfect dessert.
That is so creamy, soft, gooey. Sometimes brownies are kind of cakey, especially in Europe, I find, but this one is not. I almost find this is too buttery. It's almost like, yeah, biting into a thick thing of butter, a thick stick of butter, like it's delicious. But I think like 1 or 2 bites are enough. It's good though. And the Biscoff tastes like Christmas. I think this market is actually better than we expected it to be. There's so many cool things, old stuff, new stuff, and the people are super nice. We even got recognized, so that's really exciting. So I'm glad we came here.
Yeah, when Ani's told me that we were gonna come here, I looked at the photos online, I was like, this looks not that great. But I came here and I was actually blown away. I love it, it's so kitschy, it's so weird, totally up our alley. So if you do come to Glasgow, 100% come here if you're here on a weekend because it is worth a trip.
And now let's check out the city center.
Let's go.
Glasgow has a lot of really cool artwork. Apparently you can go to the town hall and get a map where you can go on this mural walk and see all of them. And there's certain artists that have done a lot of them, I think. And yeah, they're really, really cool. And I always love cities that have loads and loads of cool street art. So we decided to go to the Glasgow Cathedral first because that was more on the way, and we just went inside and it's really pretty. It was apparently started in 1136 and it took 350 years to finish. It's the oldest building in Glasgow and the oldest cathedral in mainland Scotland. It looks very old. There's even a tomb underneath.
It's also free to go in, which is awesome. Anytime there's a free attraction, we're there.
You should definitely come here and check it out. Unfortunately, the tower is in scaffolding, but that's, I guess, normal.
What happens when buildings are thousands of years old and are crumbling.
But that always happens when you travel. Everything's covered up.
If you're already planning on visiting the cathedral, one thing that you should definitely do is go over and visit the Necropolis, which is pretty much next to the cathedral. It's an old graveyard that's about 200 years old. It houses over 50,000 graves. Some of them are really intricate and it's very creepy and cool. And you have a really nice view of the city as well, so it's definitely worth checking out. We're now in George Square in front of the city chambers, which is a really cool place to come and hang out in the middle of the city. There's lots of green open space, benches everywhere. We were actually here the other day when it was bright and sunny. It was a beautiful day. Everybody was outside. Now, just a couple days later, you look around and it looks like fall is in full swing, but it's still a nice place to come and hang out. I feel like it'd be nice to have a beer here, crack open a beer and sit on the bench.
Or Buckfast?
Yeah, or a Buckfast. Little spoiler.
We're now in front of the Gallery of Modern Art, and it seems to be free, which is pretty cool. It says until the 23rd of February 2025. So if you have time, you should check it out. We don't have time, but right in front of it there is the equestrian statue of the Duke of Wellington or something, and he always wears a cone on his head.
Traffic cone, yeah. So if you are from Glasgow, let us know, where did that come about? How? Why? I don't really understand, but tell us, please.
I read that it dates back to the 1980s even, but I have no idea why. We're now on Buchanan Street, which is one of the main shopping streets in Glasgow. I think it's 800 meters long, so almost a kilometer. Yeah, there's all these shops, there's cafes, it's a walking street, and yeah, it's really nice. There's also the mall at the end of it, the Buchanan Galleries, I think. And I guess if you come to Glasgow, you always end up on the street somehow.
We're here on a Sunday, so it is incredibly busy everywhere. There's people singing on the streets, there's people shopping everywhere. Pretty cool vibe.
We just got on the subway, and this is actually the third oldest subway in the world. The oldest one is London, and then afterwards it's Budapest. And this one was opened in 1896, so it's over 100 years old. And now that means that we've been on all three.
The top 3 oldest in the world.
Yeah.
But this one was like made for hobbits or something. It's so small and compact, there's no space. We both banged our heads when we got in because there's like nowhere to go. But it's still really cool, and I'm glad that we got to ride it.
This one's a bit more old school too because you still need a ticket.
Although we are here in Scotland, we decided to come to an Indian restaurant called Shish Mahal, which claims to be the inventor of chicken tikka masala. Now, if you haven't seen it already, we actually tried chicken tikka masala in our London food video, but now that we're here in Glasgow, we wanted to have it at the source, or so they claim. We're starting our meal off with a lassi, and this is a sweet lassi. Typically, we would always go for mango lassi anytime we go to an Indian restaurant, so I'm excited to try this. We've never just had a regular sweet one. Let's see. That's very, very delicious. Super sweet. It's really liquidy. I feel like typically when we have a lassi, it's pretty thick. This one's a lot more thin. I think I do prefer having mango, but this is really good. It's super sweet, super frothy, delicious.
That's delicious. That's so good. That almost is kind of like kefir, sweet kefir. And they also had a salty one, which I never had before, which I imagine tastes a little bit like ayran.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, this is yummy. And I love how light this is because I feel like a lot of the time it's too filling. It is usually kind of like a milkshake, but this one's yummy. So we're starting off with some papadums. And we got some chutneys and onions and things like that.
Looks like mango chutney, some sort of spicy one, and also some onions. It looks like the mango chutney that I had at Wetherspoons.
That's delicious. It's so sweet and way better than the one from Wetherspoons. Let's get some onions. I'm scared that some of these things are going to be like really spicy all of a sudden because I'm not that good with spice, but yummy. It's really refreshing. That is spicy though. Maybe the last one. I think that one's the most spicy. They're really yummy though. And these things, love them. So good.
I feel like papadums are the essential starter for any Indian meal in the UK. I feel like anytime we go have Indian food in the UK, we always have them. I wouldn't so much back home in Canada, but I love them. Oh, so satisfying. All right, let's try this mango. So thick.
You're just using your hands like a beast.
That's how you do it in India, okay? Onions. And I grabbed myself a giant dollop of that orange spicy one. So let's see how it tastes. Oh, that was a lot. It's quite salty. Why didn't you tell me that?
Because I barely had it on my thing because I was too scared.
That was way too much. It's not that it's too spicy, it is really salty. I think you only need a tiny dab of that like this. I need some of this sweet. Our chicken tikka masala is finally here and it looks absolutely delicious. It's completely different in color from the one that we actually had in London, so I'm excited to see what the difference is. Now, if you don't know about this dish, it was actually invented by a Pakistani chef by the name of Ali Aslam, and he invented it at this restaurant, but I think it was in a different location at the time. I think he invented it in the 70s. We ordered this with a side of garlic naan, also some steamed rice, and we also got a second dish as well. This looks really good. I don't even know where to start. I think what I'm gonna do is get some of this delicious garlic naan, which this is the biggest garlic naan I've ever seen in my life. We actually used to live in Malaysia, so we used to get naan all the time, and this is one of the best looking naans. This was like 5 pounds or something like that, but worth it. Oh, it's so fresh. I'm gonna get myself a piece of chicken. Look at it, it's steaming. I feel like it's a lot more creamy than the one that we had before, and it's definitely a lot more spicy than the one we had. I feel like that one was so sweet. I feel like there was almost like,
not spicy at all.
yeah, it was not spicy at all. That's why I felt like this is not how it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. Obviously, it is the OG spot. Yeah, this is really, really good, especially with this naan. This naan is incredible.
I think I'm just gonna go for some pure chicken tikka masala, without any rice, without any bread. And I think this is what, one of the national dishes of the UK, right? That's what we learned last time. Yeah. So this is legit. Like you said, super creamy, but a lot more spicy. Last time I said that the chicken tikka masala kind of reminded me of butter chicken.
Yeah.
This one doesn't remind me of butter chicken as much. No. It has a lot of spice. I feel like with this one I have to eat it slowly because sometimes when I eat too much Indian spice, my tummy isn't happy because I'm terrible with spice, but this is so good. The other dish we got is palak paneer. We actually got a half portion, which is really awesome that's how you can order here. So you can get like multiple dishes without having to like order crazy amount. Although this is still a crazy amount.
It's the same size.
I'm like, how is this a half portion? I don't know. But basically this is paneer cheese with spinach. So let's see. That's delicious. This one is not as spicy. I feel like it always hits you at the end. I feel like this is a lot different than other ones I've had. The spinach is really spinachy, like there's like just a lot of it.
I feel like a lot of them have a lot of cream in them and this doesn't look like that.
I guess that's the difference, yeah. And the cheese is maybe a bit firmer than maybe sometimes in the past. But I like it.
We also got ourselves some steamed white rice with this meal, but they had all sorts of different types of rice. They had a special rice. I think they had some sort of saffron rice, all sorts of rices. But we just went with the traditional plain because that way you can taste the full flavor of the curries. Let's see. It smells really good. This is way too big of a bite, but oh well.
Now
it's too late. I've committed. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like there's a sweetness to it, which is really nice. But then on the back end, there's the spice. It's way less creamy than you get in some other places. You can even see in the color. It's like a really dark green rather than a lighter green. Yeah, that's really nice. If I had to choose between the two though, I think I would still go with chicken tikka masala. Our waiter just came and gave us a new dish called lamb buna, I think he said. It's a lamb dish which is cooked between 4 and 5 hours. So it just simmers in the meat juice, the lamb juice. He said that it has a very meaty taste. It's got like this thick, meaty gravy with it. It looks delicious. He said it is his favorite And yeah, it's very popular with customers that have been coming here for like 30, 40, 50 years, you said, or something?
Yeah, and it's a staff's favorite, and apparently just like, I guess it's their secret dish that everyone comes here for.
So I guess if you do come here, maybe try this. It looks amazing. We absolutely love lamb. Lamb is probably one of our favorite meats.
Yeah.
So it smells incredible. It smells so spicy. I think I need to blow on this though before I burn my mouth. All right, I can't wait anymore. Heat be damned. Let's see if I burn my mouth out. Oh my God. I'm not exaggerating when I say that is some of the most tender lamb I've ever had in my life. By far the best Indian lamb dish I've ever had. No exaggeration. It's got a lot of flavor. It is pretty spicy as well, but this is definitely the best dish by far. This is incredible. He was right.
I'm a bit scared because apparently this is spicy and I'm already in trouble, to be honest, with these dishes, especially with the paneer one. I feel like that hits me a lot more.
Trust me, it's worth it.
It still tastes delicious. I'm just a wuss. That is so buttery, just like melt in your mouth. It's delicious. It's definitely some of the best lamb I've had in a long time, I feel like. It's not that spicy, I don't think. Or maybe I'm like, my mouth is numb now. I don't even, yeah, it's so good though. The sauce is so thick and rich and creamy. Yum, yum.
I would say if you come here, get any one of these dishes, but I feel like if you had to get one of the three, the lamb is honestly the winner. It's so good.
Yeah, get lamb. For sure. I think it's a pound extra or whatever for lamb dishes. I don't know, but this is good. Worth it.
After stuffing our faces full of delicious Indian food, we now came to the park for a little bit of a pick-me-up. We bought ourselves some Buckfast. Now, even though this is from Devon, England, for some reason this is incredibly popular here in Scotland. And if you don't know what this is an alcoholic drink, a tonic wine made with red wine. It's also got a very high caffeine level. I think a lot of younger people drink this, and apparently this will mess you up if you drink too much. I've heard it will knock you straight on your ass. We've actually had this before, but I haven't had this for 10 years, so I don't even remember what it tastes like. So let's give it a go. Apparently it's made by monks. So I guess the monks like to get lit up in the monastery with this. It's actually not bad. I remember it being pretty crappy back in the day, but it does just taste like red wine, a lot of sugar, almost a little bit cough syrupy. But for £6.50, I mean, I'm pretty sure if you drank this, you'd be bouncing off the walls and passing out at the same time, I guess.
I never used to drink this when I used to live in Scotland, but I did have some friends that would go for this.
This is what the Jakies drink, right?
I don't know. Oh, yeah, it does taste like red wine. It reminds me of like cold mulled wine.
Yeah,
you know,
kinda.
the Christmas kind of, like with all the spices, but with a tiny dash of like cough syrup or like herbalness to it.
Yeah, this is 15%, which is pretty good.
I would definitely not be choosing this.
Probably not.
I read that also in Ireland, or maybe Northern Ireland, this is quite popular.
All right.
For some reason, yeah, more than in England, which is interesting.
If you are from Scotland, let us know. Did you grow up drinking this? This is a young people drink? Is this an old people drink?
Who drinks this? And I guess once we're done with this, we just have to toss it somewhere because that's how it's like here in Glasgow. Because everywhere you go, you just see like Buckfast bottles on the ground.
Yeah.
We're not gonna toss it. We're gonna be proper citizens and put it in the trash, but that's how it is here. This is the end of our video in Glasgow. We had a great time. We're now going to go back to the train station, back to our apartment where we're pet sitting. We actually had a little bit of a longer time here, which was great because now I finally get to see what Glasgow's really like, and yeah, I'm happy. How did you like it? Was it better than Edinburgh?
I don't know that I'd say it's better than Edinburgh. I like both cities a lot, but we did spend a lot more time in Edinburgh, so maybe I'm a bit biased, but both cities are awesome, and I just love being here in Scotland in general, so still had a great time.
Yeah, Scotland's amazing.
But if you did like this video, please give it a like, write us a comment, and by far the most important thing is to hit that subscribe button. But that is it for now. See you all in the next one.
Bye.